Hi, Mr. Strick. Thanks for inviting me into your home and getting me to give you my professional opinion about your property, which I think is fantastic. I think the three main points of the house are the entry, which has got a nice atrium in it, looks really good. The lounge has got a lovely westerly aspect, which is appealing to anyone that might walk through your home. And the kitchen is fantastic. I mean, the renovations you've done in there seem really nice and effective.
Good. So you think my house will sell quite well?
Yeah, I'd be happy to have it in my portfolio, yes.
Very good,
Yeah.
very good.
Mr. Strick, I'd just like to ask you some questions in relation to your situation about where you are in the market.
Yep.
How soon are you looking at being able to sell the house?
We don't need to leave, we're not urgent, but we do want to sell. We've bought in a retirement village.
Yeah, okay. So downsizing is an appealing factor to you.
The
It's
house
a
is
big
too
home.
big for us at the moment.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. How long have you owned the place for?
Well, we've been here for 20 years.
Yeah, right. So you've seen a lot of changes in the area?
Yes, and we love our home. It's a beautiful home.
Yeah, they've built
We
that new
love it.
shopping centre down the end of the road for you. That's
They have.
brilliant. Was that just for you or?
Nearly, my husband says.
Yeah. Any other reasons that you could share with me that you'd be happy to leave here? Or?
Really just to downsize. The lawns are too big for my husband to maintain now, and
Right.
it's just becoming hard. And we would like to travel, so we want to. We've bought in a retirement village, which we have a bit of a time frame to actually transition, and but we would like to do it because we have got some plans for further travel this year.
So time is of the essence for you to move on with
we
this.
would like to do it.
Yeah.
We've made our decision now.
Yeah, I think we can really accommodate you well here. Thank you. Mr. Strick, I see there's a big deck out at the back of the house there. Have you got all the permits and everything for that property?
Absolutely.
For that piece of the property?
Yes. As you know, I just told you we've been here for 20 years and we have done some renovations and some extensions, and everything that we've done has been put through council property.
Are there any other encumbrances on the property at all that you're aware of? Are there any easements along the fence lines? Or?
No, not that I'm aware of. When we purchased it, I wasn't made aware of anything like that.
You've asked me the question, what are the market influences in relation to this particular sale at this time of your life?
Yes.
And there's a couple of things that are really in your favour. Because of the type of property that we're dealing with you having this beautiful home, in this particular area with the good school catchments, is it's really good stock for us to have. There's a big shortage of stock like this. You might see at the moment there's a big abundance of units and apartments, but particularly for a 4-bedroom home in this sort of side of the main street, this is a really good property for us to have in stock.
Cool.
The other thing that's going in your favour at the moment is, I don't know if you've just seen the Reserve Bank's just dropped the cash rate to the lowest point in the history of our country, 0.25%. So interest rates are really competitive, and it's a really good time for investors and home owner buyers to be looking for this style of property in this area. So I think it's a good time for you.
So is there anything that that we could do that would make the property better than what it already is for people to look at?
I think if you just paid some attention perhaps to a little bit of gardening in the front, and like you said, the property's a bit large for you now, and it might be just time to trim up the hedges properly to get your gardener to come in and really look at doing the lawns properly and have the gardens in good stead. To perhaps, gurney the deck so it's nice and clean, and just the general presentation of the place is really good, but to keep it really tidy and to keep it, where it has to be on display for other people to come and see. So, yeah, I mean, just keep going the way you're going because it looks great at the moment.
Okay, cool. Okay.
In relation to your inquiry about the pricing on the property, I've done my market research and I've sort of researched other properties that are the same, of which I've just explained to you. There is a shortage, there wasn't a lot to check there, but I've checked in history as well for the last sort of 3 to 6 months, and I think that somewhere in the $715,000 to $750,000 price bracket is where you're really going to be a good chance to sell this property and to attract the right type of buyers with the finances that can then buy it at that level.
So you don't think we could maybe try for $850,000?
I wouldn't recommend it because people have got a lot of information these days, particularly with the advent of the internet and to be able to go onto the real estate sites and to compare properties in bedroom size, car accommodation, block of land, you know, what fixtures and fittings there are in the house. Is there a pool? Is there not? You've got a beautiful deck. So what happens is that the houses that are correctly priced will sell really quickly, and yours will stay in the marketplace and become like, oh, that's been there forever and it's an old listing stock.
A
And
bit stale.
yeah, it becomes a bit stale, and then you can get really caught, you know, you could end up really hurting yourself. So I wouldn't suggest that approach. I'd be happy to just help you realise the property at market value. And if you've owned it for 20 years, I think you'll see there's been some good capital gain in this area. It should be quite a nice check that's coming for you if we can get that higher end for you.
Okay.
So that's my advice, is to not overprice it.
That's fair enough, that's good. And so, what sort of method of sale would you recommend? Would you say auction, or would you say we put a price on it? What would you?
I would suggest private treaty in this area for the reasons we've just mentioned, particularly with, you know, an 850 square metre block. The type of property it is, there's genuine interest in these type of properties in this area, and I think that it gives us a starting point to be able to negotiate to a better price for you with a potential purchaser, simply because it takes the guess factor out of it. You know, a lot of people come to auction and they can be quite reserved and they're not quite sure and they don't want to put their foot in the water, and there's a few pros and cons, and you know, they seem reasonably popular at the moment, but for this type of property in this area, with what we're trying to achieve, I think a private treaty and drawing that buyer to the negotiating table at a fixed starting point is the best way to achieve the good result.
All right. Well, I think I would feel more comfortable with that, I must admit. So, how would you try and sell my house? What are we going to do?
Well, the marketing activities, obviously, the internet is a big way to advertise property these days. Most people are searching either on their phone or on a tablet or at some stage on their computer. So the internet, we would use realestate.com and most likely domain.com. They'd be the two sites that I recommended, and I put them in the listing kit for you. I think you'd find that the general amount of inquiry we get from that is the strongest and by far the largest. Also, to have your photographs, as we've discussed with the advertising and marketing material, is to have your photographs in our window display at the agency, because people that are looking in our window are looking for real estate, particularly in this area, because they know that we've been established in this area for such a long time. So I would definitely recommend those two procedures, and also maybe a couple of the photographic ads in the local paper, which I've put in your marketing kit as well.
Do you think a sign would be very good?
I think the sign's vital, and it allows us to also let the passers-by know that that property is particularly for sale. We can utilise that sign to indicate when open homes and times are on as well. So I think it's definitely a vital selling tool for you, is to have that that's listed in your marketing brochure as well.
And you've just mentioned open homes. Is that how you would sell it? Because my husband, as I've mentioned to you, is not that well, so it takes him a while to get going of a morning. So we sort of have a time frame that we can sort of do some, you know, inspections.
Yeah,
what
right.
would you recommend?
Yeah, no, look, I understand where you're coming from, and I've already sort of addressed that in my own mind. We wouldn't really want to have any appointments under probably 12:30 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is actually a good time with this nice westerly aspect. It's a good time this time of the year to show the property. We get good lighting through the house, and it gives you your mornings free. So we're quite able to always do them after 12 p.m. for you. That's not a problem.
Okay.
We're more than happy to try and oblige all those areas for you.
And would you recommend open home on the weekend?
Yes, definitely. Just to complete that with how we'd sell it, we do recommend the open homes. That gives us a good array of potential purchasers coming through your property. The longer they're there, the better, as we always say. If they're there for 15 minutes, but if they come with a measuring tape and they're taking photographs and they're there for half an hour, it's usually a good indication that they're quite serious about making an offer on the property.
Oh,
It
very
allows us to
good.
gather their information and always follow them up, and then to come back to you at the end of that inspection and say to you, we had 6 couples come through today, we had 40 inquiries from the internet, we've converted those into 6 people coming to the open home, and we've spoken to one of those people at the open home today, and they're coming back for a private inspection on Tuesday after lunch.
Okay.
So that's how we utilise the open home to
Oh.
really help you and to show off your asset in the best way possible.
Oh, very good, very good. And so now the costs. What sort of cost are we looking at?
Our cost is, I've worked out for everything we're going to do for you and take this property to the market, to list it correctly, to have all your marketing put into place, all your brochures, your photographics, and everything done, listed on the internet. Our fee would be $3,500 for the marketing, and our rate to sell the property would be 3.5%.
3.5%. I had a friend, and she had an agent said when he came to do an appraisal on her house that he would probably only charge maybe 1.5%. Is there anything? Can you work at 1.5%?
Yeah, look, I've heard those stories, and I look, there probably are agents out there that are working for that rate, but for everything we do, and to rely on our database of clients as well as what we can advertise and market to in the marketplace for you, we really, look, probably without taking anything away from what we have to do to achieve the great result that we want to achieve for you, I think the best I could probably do would be probably 3.3%.
3.3. Okay, all right. And does that include GST, or is that
That's including GST.
including GST?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair enough. While you're actually selling it, how will we know if people like it or what they're saying about it?
Okay, so we come back and give you a copy of our sales reports every week that show you how much inquiry we've had. If we do have an inspection on any given day, I'll always contact you within an hour of that inspection finishing. I'll either be giving you an update over the phone, or I'll be asking if it's a good time for me to come and see you. Usually, if it's the latter, it means I've got something I need to discuss with you. We may have had an offer. I may have noticed something, a cracked tile or something that's just occurred that I might need to discuss with you. But it's usually because a client's really interested in your property and they want to make an offer and settle the property down to purchase.
Oh, good. Okay. So you'll tell us verbally. Will you also email some information to my daughter, because my husband is a little bit worried because he doesn't hear some. So if I'm not here to take the call, can you just keep my daughter in the loop as well?
Yeah,
Just
look, we always
email?
follow up any information that we give to you, even if it's over the phone in relation to how the inspection went and who attended. We always follow up with an email to both you and Mr. Street, and it's no problem at all to CC your daughter to those emails and to all correspondence, and that way nothing's missed. Nothing's missed in translation, nothing's missed in volume, because your husband being a little bit hard of hearing, and with respect, with the two of you being a little bit older, there's no miscommunications, and we want everything to be quite open and transparent for you, so you know exactly what's happening at all times.
Oh, that would be
So
good. And that would make my daughter happy as well.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, we're happy to do that.
All right. Well, I'm pretty happy with what you've told me now. So what is the next thing? We have to sign some paperwork, or what?
Yeah, we do a property occupations form 6, an appointment to appoint a property agent. I've got everything here ready to go for you. So what we'll do is we'll get you to sign at the back here. This takes you right through the type of listing it is, which is we've discussed. The reserve pricing we've set at $745,000. We've got offers from $730,000 to $750,000, with all offers to be presented to you. It lists yourself, your husband, who we are, who I am, what type of house it is, and what type of listing it is. Do you have any questions about what type of listing?
Yes, I have been told that maybe yourself and maybe I've got 3 other agents. Would that be the best way, or would I, you know?
It can create a lot of confusion. We prefer to have an exclusive agency, obviously, because we're meeting with you, we're taking the property to the market in the first instance, so we're doing the harder yards per se. But also we have that relationship with you. We do know what times are suitable for you. We do really know what price you want for the property. We do know that you don't want to be disturbed after 6 o'clock at night because you don't want to be receiving calls and information. So to keep everything at that professional type of level and to offer you the service that we want to engage for you, we would prefer to have an exclusive agency signed, obviously.
And is there a time frame for that?
That's a 90-day window, and then we can redo the paperwork at the end of that 90 days again. If you're happy to sign on with us for another 90 days, yep, that's fine to do that too.
Okay. And does that show on this document how much commission I have to pay?
Yeah, I haven't finished taking you through yet, but we'll get all those wonderful things sorted out for you. There's a place for you to sign here and for Mr. Strick to sign here.
Yep. The
purchase price is listed here, and we would charge you the 3.3% of the purchase price, inclusive of GST. So everything's spelled out for you on this page, even down to the approved advertising and marketing budget. It came in at $3,530, but I've adjusted it to what we agreed on, $3,500. That's listed there for you as well. There's no repairs or any other maintenance to be attended to, and I've got a list here of your title search and the title reference number, so we can make no mistakes about which property it is that we're selling for you.
Okay, very good, very good. All right.
All right. Is there anything else I can help you with at all today, Mrs. Strick?
So when do we have to pay these marketing costs?
Well, once you sign this form, we will swing into action pretty much straight away when the marketing cost is paid, because that allows us to pay the fees to listedondomain.com and on realestate.com. It enables us to engage the photographer and make an appointment for him to come and take the photographs, which obviously we need for your signboards and to be able to list on the internet. So what would happen is, now you've signed this, I will send an invoice out from our agency to you. Once you receive the invoice, that will have the banking details on the bottom of it. You can put those marketing fees into our agency trust account, and we will start the ball rolling from there for you.
Okay, very good. All right. Yeah, okay. I think I'm happy with all of that.
Good, thank you. Nice to meet with you today.
Pleasure, thank you.